Hi there, everyone. It's Sarah Suttles from GuideSpark. I'm joined today with a friend from Adobe, Patricia Portugal, and we're going to talk about onboarding. Patricia, would you introduce yourself to the gang?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. So, my name is Patricia Portugal. I am an onboarding success specialist with Adobe. And part of my role is basically managing the program, the onboarding program for the Americas region. And then also, we work very, very closely with our other specialists from all the other regions. So, yeah, it's a great time.
Awesome. We know that the last year, 2020, has been quite challenging in
Mm,
kind of all
yeah,
sectors of the world.
right.
Walk us through what an employee onboarding experience was pre-pandemic.
Sure. Pre-pandemic, an onboarding experience, and starting with our day one, we can say, right? Our first day orientation. A typical new hire experience would be that they would come into one of our beautiful offices on their first day, be greeted by a point person, either an onboarding ambassador. They would go into a conference room where they were joined by other new hire friends and then connected virtually from that conference room with other sites in that particular region as well. So it was really like a hybrid model of in person plus connected digitally.
Once the pandemic started, how did you have to
Mhm.
adapt the process?
Yeah, so since Adobe is a really like digital first mindset, um, we actually it was an easy transition because we already had a lot of those digital implementations in place for the experience.
Mhm.
So we went full digital and took away that in-person experience, but our new hires were still able to connect digitally across the sites, the regions, so using the technology platform that we already had, the video conference platform, we use that same technology. And now instead of people joining from office connected with other sites across the region, they're connected from their homes to other sites across the region. But definitely, it was a big lift and shift, right, from our IT partners and onboarding. It touches a lot of different teams, so it's definitely a team collaboration. So having those strong partnerships already in place with our stakeholders and the digital first mindset, it was overall a smooth transition.
As Adobe moves to a more distributed workforce kind of all around the world,
Mhm.
what are some of the challenges that you face coordinating all the onboarding communications for those folks everywhere?
So, as far as the challenges, it would be creating, scalability, that balance between scalability and customization, right? So, we have different types of employees. Some of them, depending on location, there's different types of events or communications that they're going to need, right? Or depending on employee type, there's different types of communications they're going to need. So really finding that balance between what is scalable and we can send out to the masses as opposed to what are those segmented cohorts of types of employees and where do we need to tailor those messaging.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's great. We know that experience is such a big deal for Adobe, and so much of it is also critical to onboarding. You really want to make
Mhm.
people excited to be joining a new company.
Right.
So, what are some of the things that you all do to create such a great onboarding experience for your new employees?
Yeah, so we really lean into an interactive and engaging like orientation experience and the onboarding as well. So we utilize the digital technologies that are available to us to everyone really. So the breakout sessions. So within the orientation sessions, we use polls, we use breakout sessions, we have lots of cool videos to share, we have opportunities for people to engage with each other. So it really becomes a very interactive experience right from day one. Beyond that, we utilize communications channels so employees can really get in there right away, communicating with each other, with fellow new hires. We utilize Slack quite heavily. So we have a whole new hire Slack channels, depending on regions. And so we give that opportunity, coffee chat. So we really try to give them really engaging and interactive experience virtually. It's especially important, right? Because we don't have the luxury of new hires organically meeting someone in the office or being introduced to another person. So really, we try to set them up for success to really begin their networking.
Yeah, that's great. And it really helps them not feel isolated in their
Right.
own space so that they
Yeah.
can really feel a part of the company. So that's great. How are you modifying your onboarding communication strategy in light of kind of the new normal that we're all living in?
Yeah, well, that's where we're really excited to lean into GuideSpark via that communication strategy. Because right now, we have communications and templates, and we lean on partners and such. Um, but we do need, especially in this digital age and going virtual, there's a lot of really great learnings that everybody, right, has had in this virtual environment. So we definitely want to keep those and lean into those as we move forward, right? With whatever the future looks like. So GuideSpark is a technology that we're very excited about, because then we will be able to create scalability while creating that customization, as I talked about.
Great. We appreciate that as well. It's really been a pleasure working with you and your team. So I think that, the partnership has really been quite lovely. And, our whole point is that we want to make sure that communication strategy is clear, as well as giving you the tools to get that message out, since you don't have the kind of on-site, in-person
Mhm.
experiences you've had in the past. Do you think that the changes that we're seeing today and that Adobe's so far implemented will be around for the long term?
I think, like I mentioned, I think we've learned quite a lot,
Mhm.
and we've tapped into an area where it will definitely take a lot of these learnings into the future. So, as I mentioned, in this virtual state, we implemented quite a bit of engagement with the new hires, where before um, the manager and their team, where really had a heavy hand in engaging that new hire with Adobe, right? And so now we're really going to be leaning into the scalability and being globally scalable, and really keeping all of those engagement factors, post day one, obviously on day one, but post day one, where we have, more organized engagements for new hires, more organized ways and consistent, streamlined ways for new hires to engage with each other, to engage with the community, to engage with other organizations, other events, to become active, right? So we have a lot of really great ways for any person at Adobe, any employee, to become involved, right? Via our CSR programs, our Adobe for All programs. So we want to make it very easy and intuitive for our new hires. So we're definitely going to be leaning into those technologies mentioned prior to continue that going forward.
Great. You have a lot of experience in onboarding. Do you see any trends coming in the future that you want to share with everyone here?
Yeah, so I really see this customization, right? Customization and personalization, not only with, say, communications, right? Depending on your employee type or employee level or anything of that sort, but also I really see onboarding um, becoming you're onboarding your way. So yes, there are certain things that a company, wants to onboard and integrate the new hire into the company for those isms of the company, right? The company culture, the business, everything they need to learn. But then there's those opportunities for that employee to really customize their onboarding, right?
Right.
So creating onboarding your way, right? So having a selection of different onboarding activities where that person would then pick and choose how
Mhm.
they want to onboard, right? So that core fundamental information and experiences, and then selecting all the other areas where how they want to integrate with the company.
That kind of choose your own adventure experience
Exactly.
and
Yeah. Choose your
making
own
sure
journey.
they get what they need.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. I think this is a lot of really great information on kind of where onboarding is going. We appreciate you taking a moment to have this chat with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.